Hi, my name is Michael Mittag. I recently graduated from Bethany Lutheran College with a degree in media arts, and I've just been kind of figuring out what I'm going to do to find my visual style since graduation. I've worked on a lot of projects, a lot of things in the video realm in my time in school, and I thought it would be a great idea to make a YouTube channel and just record my reactions to the videos I've made and sort of show them off to people who haven't seen them, and so I can get a better idea of feedback I could take from it, and also just show off my video skills to the world, but also kind of for myself, just react to my own content and see what I could do better, what I could improve on. My setup right now isn't ideal. I kind of ended up just buying fairly cheap stuff off of the internet just to get a good setup going as a sort of a starter, and then from here I want to change what my setup looks like to more uh you know be to my liking. But right now this is kind of just what I got. Green screen, a light. I want to show off what I got on the computer, so it'll mostly be on the computer, but I will have a webcam just in case to sort of see my reaction, make it feel more personal. But yeah, this is my content. I'm Michael Mittag, and I hope you enjoy. All right, so in 2025, I interned with a baseball team in my state. So there's a league called the Northwoods League. It's basically collegiate level baseball. I was an intern there as a broadcast intern, but the team I was with also worked on videos for the baseball team to be shown on the video board. So it was kind of a hybrid of broadcasting and video content creation. And I had the opportunity to work on a lot of different projects, a lot of different commercials as well. What I'm going to be showing today are some of the commercials I worked on. Kind of looking back at them, seeing what I did on them, what I'm proud of, obviously what I could change. It was a small budget. It was virtually zero budget. We had someone's camera that was interning. There were five of us, which was more than some places had. So we kind of got a bargain with that. But we ended up breaking up into groups. Not into groups, into different what each of us are doing. So we each have a different role. We ended up breaking into different roles. I ended up kind of falling into the director role, in sort of like a light sense. Like, everybody had a say in what was going on, but at the end of the day, I kind of was the one that was sort of directing how it should go. And with all these, that's kind of the common theme. I'm going to show them and then talk about them as they go on. Okay, so the first commercial I'm going to show was for a cup brand called Roastar, and the main idea of the commercial was to showcase what you can reuse the cup for. So the other, uh, you know, things you can use it for besides just throwing in a recycling bin. And I, again, was the main director for this, and I worked with a cinematographer, and then the rest of the people in our group acted or helped with editing. But I mainly designed the scenes and then sort of worked with the editors to figure out the final edit. So we'll watch it right here.
What possibilities do you have with an aluminum cup? A great addition to a day at the park. Perfect for a party at the office. Let your creativity run wild. And when time's up for your aluminum cup, curbside recycle. No need to trash greatness. Reuse it, love it.
Okay, I apologize for the weird quality at the beginning, like the resolution. I don't know why it's so much lower. But this is, yeah, I mean, this is the commercial. So this took about, I want to say, about a week to actually finish the completion from the beginning. So around this time, we actually had 3 different commercials we had to make. This was one of them. We ended up having to cut one of them, so we ended up only doing 2. But this one, as I said, the main idea is focusing on reusing the cup. And here, the idea right away popped into my head. What if we did something with, throwing the cup into a different scene and then seeing what the next person does with it? That's a pretty common thing I've seen online. I think at this time I watched a video by the MLB where it was like each um player was passing the phone to a different player. So that was similar, but I've also seen different things like this in just animations and in other works of commercial just online. But yeah, so here the main idea, we started filming this a day where we didn't have a game. um this scene we actually shot last, so I think I'll actually come back to it. I wanted to start with this scene right here with the kids at the sandbox. So this scene was, I thought it would be hard to film. I was a little worried about it. What actually ended up happening was the kids were actually super easy to work with. We had like a scene planned, but it didn't turn out. Well, it did turn out actually the way we wanted it to. It almost turned out perfectly, but like we were just gonna have the kids like play with the cup and then throw it in one shot. Now that didn't end up happening, but when you watch it, I feel like that doesn't really matter. I mean, like to a point it does, but at the same time it's like it really does not mess with the flow of the commercial to see the kids. I mean, you're focusing on the kids, you're looking at what they're doing. It's cut together extremely well. The editor did a great job with that. Um but yeah, the kids, I mean, they were kind of just having fun time playing at the park. It was like it wasn't even like they were being filmed. So that was, I had never worked with smaller kids of that capacity before, and that was a really fun first time to do it. I would say. I mean, I didn't even really tell the kids what to do. They literally did it themselves. They're like natural born for this. They did a really good job. So that was good on them to do that. The next scene is going to be this party scene here. So with this one, uh, it was hard to do. It was actually hard to really get perfectly. There were so many moving parts to it. You throw the cup in from the side. We obviously knew what side we wanted it to come in from. We knew it was going to come from that right side. So then we had the kid throw it. And that kid did a good job of throwing. I'm trying to get a good shot of it. Yeah, I mean, that kid did a really good job. So that shot right there took so long to get perfectly because, I mean, these are empty cups. Like, there is Mountain Dew there, and this isn't a Mountain Dew ad, but we experimented with the idea of having Mountain Dew in the cups, just to see if it would work better. It ended up we just bounced the ball. The person on the other side bounced the ball into the cup, and it eventually worked. We obviously finally got it. It took a ton of tries, though. We wanted to specify there was Mountain Dew because we didn't want to. This is made for kids, so we didn't want to give the impression that it's beer pong. We wanted it to be, oh, it's cup pong. It's the family friendly version with the soda. And I mean, it doesn't change anything with the actual recording of it. But yeah, that bouncing that in there took so long. You can see that guy right there. He wasn't supposed to be in the shot. He was the guy that bounced it. He was so excited. He ended up moving and getting in there, but it was so funny, and it felt like it worked. Like, I think knowing he wasn't supposed to be in there is a little awkward, but when it's going on, it kind of just feels like he's just moving out of the way. Then he flips the cup into the next scene with Woody Woodchuck here. He's the mascot of the baseball team, the Woodchucks. So we did this at the Roastar headquarters. They were very nice, let us come into the office, record, do whatever we needed to do. It was super nice of them. They were very, very accommodating, which was really nice. We had to kind of take apart their desk, not take it apart, but like they had things on it, and we had to move it, and it felt a little weird at the time, but it ended up working out. And this shot was also hard to do because the cup at first, it's sliding in, and it goes from being thrown to sliding. I think it works. I mean, it feels smooth still, and you're not necessarily focusing on how the cup is particular coming in, except that's coming in from the same side. So we felt like, it would be better if it was just slid rather than thrown. We started off with throwing it. It didn't work out. So sliding it just felt better, and it was easier to pull the pens out of it. Uh, it's hard to pull pens out of a cup when you're in a woodchuck costume. I don't know from experience because I have not worn that thing, and no offense to Woody Woodchuck, would not wear that thing. Um, yeah, if you've ever been in a mascot costume, you know why. But basically, this shot looks simple on the surface. It took bunch of tries. We were probably at it for about 45 minutes to I an hour at the absolute most, just getting it perfectly. I mean, we had to dumb it down a little bit. I don't want to say dumb it down, but it was originally going to be a much wider shot. We hadn't even seen The Office first. It was kind of that sort of a thing where we're supposed to make an ad. We didn't really have the means to actually go in there and see it first off, so we kind of had to plan around it. Ended up working out to get the logo in there. I think that was really nice. We got to show that in the corner. It was that product placement, both for Roastar and then for the Woodchucks, and then sliding it off to the side, and then this scene I'm proud of. Not because I'm in it, not just because I'm in it. I really like how it goes in from the side, just coming straight to the ground, falling down like that. It worked out really well. And then go and pick it up, throw it in the trash can. A little bit of a weird focus at the end there. When it's on the video board where this was mainly shown, it wasn't really noticed because at that point the ad already gets cut off. It was weird because they cut it off like right here usually, and the end wasn't even necessarily shown. But this was the main ad that was given and shown for the each game, and it's pretty proud of it. I worked with a really good group for this. Is obviously a fairly simple idea, but in practice, it took time. It took tries. Like I said, got done in about a week. This was the first week we got down there, so it's pretty stressful, but it managed to work out. So I'm really glad we were able to get this done. Finally, with this beginning scene here, we did this last. So this was the basically 2 or so days before it was actually completed. The editing process was fairly simple for it. We got a whole bunch of other interns to come and act in this. We really just had them stand up and act like it's at a baseball game. It's a little bit forced. They're like they're standing up, but I think for the 10 minutes they knew what we were doing, they did a pretty good job. There was actually a drink in that cup, so it was a little bit challenging to get it to work perfectly. This guy right here, though, that was drinking the cup, he did a great job. He kind of came in really clutch with the acting we needed for this, because we needed someone to make it look, not draw the attention to themselves, just more so the cup. If I were to do this again, I would have a close-up shot of the cup. I think that would be really nice. It kind of, you kind of don't know what's going on at first, and that's a little bit iffy. Um, here is good because it just right in the middle. Oh, it's a cup. Okay, but it would have been nice to have that earlier on, showcase it earlier. But yeah, I mean, this scene, fairly simple for what it is. I think turned out really well as well. Couple things I would maybe change, like I said, maybe let people know a little bit earlier. They could have on some different clothing, make it seem more like they're at a actual baseball game. But I think it turned out really well. So that's it for this video. We're gonna move on to the next video of Roastar commercials. Okay, so this video was the first one we did for Roastar, where the second one focused on reusing the cup in ways other than recycling. This cup is focusing specifically on, okay, how do you recycle a cup like this, a plastic cup? It looks like it's metal. It is a plastic cup. It said that in the previous one. It is a plastic cup. Um, and this one's a little bit more silly. It's a little bit more, leading into the goofy side of it. I mean, at these type of games, the main audience is children. There are some adults there, but at these collegiate games, it's more geared towards families with smaller kids. Tickets are cheaper. It's a family experience. So this is geared towards the kids. So I'm gonna show this one now.
Meet Woody, your MVP for keeping our stadium clean and green. Uh-oh, that's not where that goes. Recycle them right. Team up with Woody and put waste in the right place. Recycle right. Play smart.
All right, so again, this was I directed this, and then we had somebody record, be the cinematographer, record with the camera. It was actually their camera, which was nice. And then we had the other people act. And then everybody helped edit. And then that's how we turned out this. So it was very nice of the play-by-play announcer for the Woodchucks to narrate this. It was very great working with him. He's actually my roommate up there. It was nice to work with somebody, for audio, that not a visual actor. It was nice to work with him. He was very easy to work with. Did a couple more projects with him later on down the line. And yeah, he recorded with his own microphone, so that worked out. And yeah, so start off here. We have Woody, throwing stuff away. The scene was pretty easy to shoot. Set the camera at the edge of the table. A little bit of a rack focus to focus on the cops coming closer. It was all in all not too hard. You can't really tell in this shot, but we worked with a rack focus for this to focus on the Roastar Cup. But this is the final shot that ended up in the actual commercial. And then we had these insert shots. Pretty easy. I mean, standard. Had the camera, tripod, for both the recycling bin and then for holding it up. This was probably the toughest one of that whole area right there. Now coming up here, this is where it got a little bit interesting. It wasn't hard. This whole production of this specific video wasn't hard. It was more just working out the kinks of working with a new team, because at the time the team was working on this, we didn't know each other that well, so we had to kind of work that out on the fly. And as this guy, you could recognize him from the other video. He again helped us. This was the first time we worked with him, because like I said, this was the first video we made. And he did a great job once again. He made it. I mean, he didn't need to do too much to make it comedic. He kind of just acted the best way he could. With this scene here, where Woody's running down Woody Woodchuck is running down, we had to do this handheld, I believe, but we had multiple people holding onto the camera, which It did help. It was a little bit interesting of a way to do it, but we were just moving down because we didn't have a slider at the time, so we just moved down like this again, um lower budget, made it work with what we had. um Slow motion shot, it kind of, if there was any wobble, it made it easier to miss, or yeah, easier to miss. One thing I will say is the audio is definitely a little bit finicky. It's just a little too quiet. In the ballpark, you don't notice that because it's loud. The people are cheering. People aren't even really paying attention to the video, which is fine. But that is one thing with it, that it feels a little awkward, that it's just kind of quiet at times, and then it switches to the different audio things. A little bit jarring. It's definitely a little bit jarring. And that obviously changed once we did the future ones with the next Roastar one that I showed before. And yeah, I mean, a lot of insert shots, a lot of, some small pans and stuff. It was kind of just, this being the first video I worked on with the group, it made it a lot easier to kind of get to know what each of us are good at. And it managed to work out pretty well. I want to say the hardest one of the bunch was probably just this whole sequence here, just because there's more to it. Now, it wasn't hard by any means, but it was just challenging to get it perfectly, especially this shot where Woody's head's kind of sideways, This was just difficult because we couldn't quite get the right depth. We wanted the depth to look good. We managed to make it work, I would say. We got it at, I would say, the perfect height and angle that the shot looks like how we want it to look with the background blurry. And so that worked out. That worked out really well. But this shot did take the longest out of the bunch to shoot. Other than that, though, this was a great first one to work on with the group. I'd say learned the most about just working with each other at the time. I learned a lot about working with people I didn't know that well. Turned out to be a great experience. Everybody got a little bit of experience doing something they hadn't really done that much before, and it turned out really well. All right, the last one I'm going to showcase today is for a restaurant called the Mint Cafe. This one was a couple weeks after the previous ones. We were asked by this sponsor, obviously this time the Mint Cafe, to make a commercial for their restaurant. The previous group the past year had made one, so we kind of cross-referenced it, but we really wanted to do our own thing. The only thing we really took, some of the outside shots we reshot, but it was inspired by the old one. The rest of the ideas, though, were all our own. We actually ended up having to shoot this one twice. I'll talk more about that after it's done. But we ended up having to shoot it twice. And yeah, but I think it was for the better because this video turned out really well as well. Again, it was similar jobs for this one. I directed two people on camera and somebody else in the suit that from the person that was in the suit the last time, newer person. Can't really tell if you're just watching it, but it's just something worth mentioning that had to kind of navigate that whole area of working with a mascot costume in a smaller area. So
welcome to the Mint Cafe, where fun, friends, and good times are had. Stop in for a bite to eat and leave more than satisfied. After finishing your meal, don't forget to try a slice of pie. The Mint Cafe is located on the 400 block in Wausau, Wisconsin. The Mint Cafe, serving Wausau since 1888.
Yeah, so pretty straightforward. It was a very linear process of making this one. I did say we had to do two of them. So the story went, we were told we had to make a commercial, but we didn't quite get feedback in time, like, or feedback from the owners of the cafe in time, because this was due at a certain point. We had to have all our commercials in, per the rules of the Northwoods League at a certain point, and they hadn't gotten back to us, so we just kind of went in on our own. We had permission, but we went in without any idea really of what to do. So we recorded a whole different one with a whole different premise. It ended up, not being used. We were annoyed at the time. I was kind of just glad that we finally got feedback from the owners. I get they're busy. There's no harm at all. I also really love this restaurant, so I was happy to go back in there and have and get more food. But in like non-kidding terms, like this was a great experience to shoot this. Um, Narrator's obviously a different narrator from before. This was one of the people that normally edits. Logan Warzel is his name. We thought he had a really good voice for narrating, and he did a great job. And it's also a different feel from the other narrators, like the other two. They're the play-by-play announcers, so they're more like matter of fact, or more like go get them kind of voice. This is more like, it's a happy day. You have the happy music. You have your friend. In this case, a narrator's your friend, telling you about the Mint Cafe. And I feel like in terms of getting people to go to a restaurant, I think that worked very well. Yeah, I mean, this shot was shot during their business hours. We got permission from people to have them in the shot. They weren't mad about it. And this was really just shown again through the games itself. So we have permission to post them online and such, and obviously it was shown online during the course of the season. But this was during the business hours. We managed to get people in there, which is nice because it makes it feel more open, like it's not like an empty restaurant. You could see that, um, with the people cooking towards the end here. We got some nice insert shots of them cooking. They actually were more than happy. They like asked us almost to go in there and film them flipping pancakes and stuff. They actually, there was a guy that wanted to have us film him flipping a burger, so we actually used that as a little bit of practice before we got these shots in. But a lot of insert shots. um turned out really good. They got to have some good food as well, some good breakfast. uh you know Good meal altogether. The person in the Woody costume had to kind of get used to that whole process of being in a mascot costume. They'd never done it before, so I kind of talked with them about, like, all right, you feeling good about this? What are you comfortable doing? But it worked out really well. We worked with the family that owns the place. They all did a good job acting in it as well. I mean, pretty minor acting, I would say. It was kind of just, sitting down at the table and waving, and they did a great job of what they were asked to do. Uh this experience, I learned a lot about working with a professional, because this is the owner of a restaurant, and a busy owner as well. I mean, not saying the other people I'd worked with weren't busy. Every person I had worked with up to this point that owned like Roastar in the previous case, or in this case Mint Cafe, busy, and they had to work through their schedule. Um, I wasn't the first line of communication. In this case, it was the manager. So my supervisor, and then by extension also the rest of the people in the group, the 5 people in our group. The supervisor was the one emailing, and then we had to get feedback from her, and then in turn we worked through that. But then we were able to shoot this in the cafe. Got to have good food. If I were to do it again, I don't really. I mean, there are some small little things with, like, focus at some points and some reflections that I would try to work a little bit more with. But we were working with like basically just cameras. So we didn't even really have lights. Like if I remember correctly, we seriously just had to use what lights we had. Surprisingly, it worked out pretty well most of the time. Like we didn't have any lights through the team, so we just had to work with what we had. But I think it worked out really well. It really helped sort of hammer in working with less materials at hand, which is something up to that point you know, I mean, I like creating video with whatever I have the means to. But it was still like it was very minimalistic. And I think we made it work to a point where like it was enjoyed by the people who watched it. It did the job it had to do, and it's something I'm proud of making. I can definitely make something to this level again, but it's also been like a sort of point where it's like, okay, I've learned a lot from this experience, and if given the opportunity to work with a team again, or even myself, I'd be able to create something of this quality, if not better, than that, knowing what idea we have in mind for what it's supposed to look like. That's the main thing. All these were ideas that were fleshed out to both the most efficient way and the most visually appealing way for the people going to the games. And all in all these commercials I think did that goal, and especially taught me a lot about, you know, directing, working with people I hadn't worked with much before. And to that point, I would say it was a very good learning experience for that. So yeah, I think I'm going to show them again at the end of this video. So if you want to watch them all, I'll kind of put them in a little bit of a list. So like we'll start with the first one and then second, third. I'll put timestamps in the description as well, make it a little bit easier. But yeah, these were some of the commercials I worked on in Wausau when I was working with the Wausau Woodchucks. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave me a message in the comments. I also have my email connected to my YouTube channel. So if you want to reach out, any tips or anything you want to tell me personally that you don't want to have in YouTube comment, that's totally fine. Any offers or anything you want to have me meet up with you or something and work on a project, I'm totally open to that too. I am based in Wisconsin currently, but that's something that I'm open to talking with and working out. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much.
What possibilities do you have with an aluminum cup? A great addition to a day at the park. Perfect for a party at the office. Let your creativity run wild. And when time's up for your aluminum cup, curbside recycle. No need to trash greatness. Reuse it, love it.
Meet Woody, your MVP for keeping our stadium clean and green. Uh-oh, that's not where that goes. Recycle 'em right. Team up with Woody and put waste in the right place. Recycle right. Play smart.
Welcome to the Mint Cafe, where fun, friends, and good times are had. Stop in for a bite to eat and leave more than satisfied. After finishing your meal, don't forget to try a slice of pie. The Mint Cafe is located on the 400 block in Wausau, Wisconsin. The Mint Cafe, serving Wausau since 1888.